Hey guys, I want to share something with you that God did for me last night. He's done it before and it's such a big deal to me that I have to share it. You guys know that my journey with sickness is day to day, and yesterday was a day like many days. I came home and I had to take some medication and lay down, which is normal for me. And as the evening went by, the pain seemed to get worse. And I told Jesse, which he can tell, and he started praying for me. Well, a little bit later, it intensified even more, and I took more medication. And so by probably 9:30, 10 o'clock, I was in pain that I hadn't felt before. I knew it was something different. And the medication wasn't doing it. And, I've been to the ER so many times. I know the drill. I knew that it wasn't my heart, which was the area that was hurting so bad. And I can't explain how it was, but it was just all over my area here, my chest area. And so Jesse would say, "Do you need to go to the hospital?" And I would be like, "They're not going to do anything. We already know. We've already been 6, 7 times. We know they're not going to do anything." And I was like, if I could just go to sleep. If I could just go to sleep, I know it'll be better when I wake up. And this being something that I'd never experienced before, I was kind of like, "Lord, if I need to go, give me wisdom." But as many times as I've been, and they haven't found anything, it's even more miserable to go sit in an ER or be poked and prodded and then still not find anything and say, "Well, you just got to go home." And so I laid there in the bed, Jesse's arms around me, interceding when he would wake up. He'd doze off, and he does it a lot. He'll doze off, and then he'll wake up praying, and then he'll doze off, and he'll wake up praying. It's the most precious thing you ever see. And anyway, I laid there, and I kept saying, "Lord, just let me go to sleep." And as I laid there, now listen to this, as I laid there, the pain just dissipated. It just left my body, and my body relaxed. And I know that that is God because I've experienced it before. And I know it's not medication because medication gradually helps you. It does not make it just leave your body and everything relaxes and all of a sudden you're good. And as that left my body, as the pain left my body, I dozed off and went to sleep. And I woke up this morning, and I've been good so far all day. And I don't know what was going on last night. Could have been a medicine reaction. I don't know. But I know that God touched my body. And the reason I tell you this is because whatever you're needing God to do, He can do it in the form of sickness, finances, kids. I mean, it's limitless what He can do. When Kobe, my son, was probably about 5, 6 years old, I was in the bed sick, and he came in there, and the Bible talks about a child's faith. Be childlike, have that kind of faith. And he come in there, and he's like, "What's wrong, Mama?" And I said, "Mama don't feel good, honey." And he says, "I'll pray for you." And he laid his little hands on me, and he prayed for me. Well, he went back in the other room, and then a few minutes later, he come back, and he says, "Mama." And I said, "What, baby?" He says, "Are you feeling okay?" And I said, "Well," I said, "I'm still a little sick." And he says, "But I prayed for you. I prayed for you." He said, "Well, are you feeling okay?" And I said, "Well," I said, "I'm still a little sick." And he says, "But I prayed for you." I said, "But I prayed for you." He says, "But I prayed for you." He says, "But I prayed for you." He said, You're okay. And at that moment, in my spirit, I got up on faith of that little child's prayer, and I walked it out. And when I walked it out, ooh, got some Holy Ghost goosebumps. As I walked it out in faith, then God took away that sickness. And that baby's prayer is what touched me. Jesus threw the little baby in the hands and the faith. But I had to get up and walk it out because my body would sit there and lay there and hurt. There's different ways that God touches us and uses us, and I know that I'm going over my time. I'm sorry. There was another time that I was sick, and I knew that I had to go to work. It was one of those, if you don't go, you're probably going to lose your job. And I laid there and I said, Lord, there is no way in my own power that I can get up and go to work. And the same way that He touched me last night, He touched me that morning. And the pain in my stomach, it dissipated. And it did just like it did last night. It just absolutely left my body. And I want you guys to know that even when it seems like it can't happen, it won't happen, you're at the end of your rope, God can do things that you don't expect Him to do, at times you don't expect Him to do, through babies that maybe you don't expect Him to use, or through other people. Guys, I just get really wound up about this stuff. When God does that stuff, that's, to me, that's another kiss from heaven. When He comes down and He says, here, Kim, feel better. Ah, my stars, you guys. I feel Jesus all over the place. He's going to touch somebody. He's going to give a miracle to somebody. He's going to work through a baby or a little one somehow, some way. He is going to blow your mind at what He can do in your situation, in His timing, and then you're going to know that was God. That was my kiss from heaven. Whew. I got to go, guys. I've talked too long. Expect your kiss from heaven. Wait on it and know it when you get it. Bye, guys.